Hey everybody, it is Sunday night and it's time for Chill and Chat with me, Michael B. 19K Fox. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And no, not another episode of this week. This is not the 100th episode. I would, you deserve better than this. No, this is just an opportunity for us to kind of hang out and, just kind of both chill and chat. I thought we'd try to do two things at once. Let's just chill and let's also chat. It's an opportunity for you to kind of ask me really any question, anything going on. We're going to talk about everything just kind of off the cuff. No, sadly, I didn't make it home. It's very sad. It's very sad. No, I didn't make it home. These jobs that I work on, they rarely go as planned. And so I get stuck, on long weekends sometimes. Just don't get a chance to get home. So no, my shows, just so you know, for this week's show, I put a lot of effort into that. I know sometimes maybe it doesn't look like it, but usually I wake up early. Well, I wake up at a decent time, Sunday morning, and then I will, I've usually got a couple topics in mind, but I'll do some kind of mulling it over and I'll whittle it down to like 3 topics, kind of a maximum. I'm sorry, that's like a minimum just for the thumbnail. And then we'll add a few more later on as the day goes on. But I try to get that together pretty soon and then get that stream all set up around noonish Eastern Standard Time, and then get that out there, put it on Twitter so everybody can kind of see and get ready and know that there's going to be a show that night. Also, if you can hear the traffic, I apologize. It's San Diego, and they drive nonstop. I promise the window is closed if you can hear it. That's really bad. So then I'll get the thumbnail out around noonish, set the stream up, let everybody know what's going to happen. And then I spend, 2 hours is minimum, 2 hours minimum. Usually it's 3, sometimes 4 hours, researching topics, putting together all my little slides. I love my slides. Got to do all that. Putting that together so we can have something to talk about, so that I can have like a visual reference, which is something I kind of need. I'm a pretty structured dude. I got to have stuff, lined up so that I know I have something to talk about. The last thing I want to do is have dead air, and just sort of like say a lot of ums and all that. So I don't like to do that. So that is why, a long-winded way of saying this is not technically a this week episode. This is just us hanging out, because I can't go a week without talking about this stuff, and nobody else wants to hear about it but you people. You're all just as crazy as I am. So tonight, no bourbon, coffee. Have some coffee. Delicious. Yeah. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I usually have bourbon, and I don't have it. And, I feel better drinking bourbon at home. When I'm at home, when I've had a long week, I got home, had the weekend to kind of chill and do a couple things for myself. I like a few things. There's a honeydew list always. But then Sunday night, I get to chill out with y'all and have a glass and then take my ass to bed and go to sleep. It's just a great way to kind of cap off my week and get ready for the next week. So, feels a little out of place when I'm on the road. So coffee it is for now. Maybe later. It's only 3:00 here on the Pacific Coast, Pacific Standard Time, the West Coast out here in Cali. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. So that's why we're going to change up a little bit tonight. We're going to do something different. We're going to I wanted to do this earlier so that there was no confusion about this being another this week episode. Also, it gives us a chance to maybe talk to some of you who don't get a chance to watch me live. And we're going to go off the cuff tonight. I have a couple things that I want to hit, a couple things I want to talk about, but really this is kind of your show tonight. Just talk about whatever, ask whatever questions. I don't think that Console Kits is going to do a show tonight. So I was trying to do this super early to avoid stepping on his toes, but we might just go 2 hours or whatever. We don't have to just keep it down to an hour. So all that out of the way. Also want to let you know the fact that there's this sad and depressing that it's coffee in my cup and not bourbon. There's also no poll question. We're just going to talk about whatever. We got some stuff to talk about. There are some new developments that kind of happened. Let's go right off the bat with congratulations to Glenn. Once again, the community coming up with a solution for a pretty big problem, and that is II Arcade sending light gun support for that first generation cabinet. It's incredible. And all props go to Glenn. I knew you just had to get an adapter kit. There's always something. I can't imagine what he had to go through to get that going, but that's exciting. That happened today or yesterday. So that's big news because I'm enjoying my gold cabinet. But for those of you who can't get it, it really stinks, especially for the early adopters. You guys you got to have that functionality. So that's really cool. Also, there's some stuff to talk about as far as, several developments that are making me question my double purchase of Fast and Furious cabinets. Yeah, I got 2 coming because I like the party. Also, because I really want to check out that linked cabinet, that linked functionality. But anyway, that's enough of that. Lots to discuss, but really it's whatever you guys want to talk about. So let's kick it off with Beach Native 78. What's going on? Hey, what's up, Foxy and Chet? With all the with all the arcade drama between companies and YouTubers, I can't wait for tonight's show. Episode 100, baby, will be next week. But I appreciate it. When it comes to the drama, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Don't feed the fire. And then they'll stop talking about it because it won't get the clicks and it won't get the views. The Nerd Jock Podcast. What's going on, buddy? I see you made it home. No, I didn't. I'm still out here, bud. Just in time for the 100. No, so close, guys. So close. So close. Next week is going to be awesome. I can't wait to put some time into that show and then talk about some cool stuff and then look forward to the next 100 episodes for sure. Stephen Brown says, hello there. How are you? Dan Z, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you. Alfred Berger. Let me scroll down here real quick. Many emojis followed or preceded by a hey. How's it going? Gotham City Arcade. What's going on? Hey, Battle. How you doing? Shannon Zahn. What's going on, buddy? Hey, Fox. Thought no show tonight. No, we're going to have a show. I guess this is technically tonight because it's 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Welcome surprise. Well, I'm glad you're actually surprised and welcomed. I'm glad the surprise is a welcome one. And I'm here to hang out for sure. Hang out, relax. Kick your feet off. Don't kick your feet off. That would cause a lot of bleeding. You'd have to get that, maybe taken care of. 911 would have to be called. Kick your shoes off of your feet and party on down to the escape beat. Just kicking. Sorry, I'm a 90s kid. Show Gecko says, I will have 100 ounces of Miller Lite to celebrate your 100th show. You're welcome to have the 100 ounces anyway. No, you're not early. You're not early. You're not even super early. You're right on time. Right on time. The Real Zim is in the house. Says, what's up, guys? How you doing? Good to see you. Mike is saying, oh, yes, super pumped for the GSR Glenn's Retro Shows Arcade panel. Absolutely. Oh, it was last night. Okay, I thought it was just yesterday. Hopefully they get that Q3 release as I'm ready for it now. Absolutely. And those that want to, it's not just early adopters. Current adopters can't even go run out and buy a gold cabinet. So this is the only way, probably the only way for most anybody new getting into it is going to be able to take advantage of that. So JT Burnick says, yo, how you doing? Dr. Jeffrey says, hey, let's go ahead and do this. Let's do this. All right. Dark Empire, my brother. What's going on? Evening Fox. Early show tonight. Yeah. Just a chilling chat. Answer questions, talking, goofing around. I'm sure it'll be another. Well, let's set our expectations. Fantastic is a little high. Maybe I like to shoot for a nice mediocre and then see what happens from there. Adam is in the house, buddy. How you doing? Sup? How you doing? Good to see you. Michael B. Hello, everyone. How are you? The bad guy. Mike Worley once again choosing at this point to be the bad guy when he could embrace the good. Says, hey, hey, you Fox and everyone. Good to see you, man. Thank you for stopping by. The channel, check out the show. Black Goblin says, finally bought a house. It's very tough. And okay. Well, it's actually the housing market's tough everywhere, man. Absolutely. So I'll have my home arcade up by the end of the year. Absolutely. I'm right there with you, buddy. I got to catch up with you. You might actually be ahead of me. Excited to be a part of the community. It's a great community to be a part of. It's a great, you just get to talk to each other. We get to show off what we're doing. We can be inspired by others. We can maybe even, knock on wood, inspire somebody else with their home arcade. So very, very cool. David G is in the house. What's up? Fox, how you doing? Good to see you. Calvin Wong, what's up? I thought you'd be watching NBA play. No, I'm not a big NBA fan. The B-ball is not my jam for sure. But hey, listen, rock on. Tulsa Arcade, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. See you're having some sales. Check out Tulsa Arcades, guys. They're doing some saleage. That 20-inch monitor kit, you got to check it out for sure. Langs, parentheses, Chris says, here we go. Good to see you. Absolutely great to see you. Another thing I absolutely love to see is a $5 super chat from my brother Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. Hey, Fox, you do amazing content, and we thank you. Truly one of the best. Cheers, brother. Thank you so much. It's just coffee. I'm sorry. I know it's disappointing. Thank you so much for the compliment. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Always supporting the channel. Are you going to go to Cleveland? I want to know. Anyway, I got to hit you with a little bit of something special for your $5. Here take this one.
Can't you do any better? This is the Overlord!
Random one is in the house. Says, "What's up, Fox? How you doing? Good to see you, Bob. How you doing? How them boys doing? Are they keeping you in line or the other way around? I don't know. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you as well." Damian is in the house, and he says, "You know what? The name of the channel. Deal with it." What's up, Fox? Good to see you, man. Thanks for swinging by and hanging out with us for a little bit. Dominic Pieces up, Fox. How you doing? Clax29. It's always time for Irish coffee. I should have put that in there. Yeah, I wasn't thinking. Hey, AV, what's going on, buddy? West Coast, Best Coast. This guy. Check out Anthony's channel. He just finished up his second Pro-inspired, the XL, the RK1-Up XL. It's probably the best that we could. It's probably better than what we could hope for coming from Arcade 1-Up. But his 2 4-player cabs are complete Konami cabs. He finished up Ninja Turtles, I think a month back, maybe a few weeks back. Just dropped the video for X-Men, and he's got Simpsons coming up too. These are custom builds using a 20-inch monitor. His custom graphics. It looks spot on, phenomenal. Doing good, buddy. Doing good. Check out the channel for sure. Bob is saying again, my wife finished nursing school and was offered her dream job today. Wasn't allowed to tell anyone. Okay, I won't tell anybody. Everybody listen. Scouts honor, whatever the thing is. Swear to see. You're all sworn to secrecy. Pinky swear. You can't tell anybody. Wasn't allowed to tell anyone. Too proud though. She can tell everyone else. That's fine. That's fine. We'll keep the secret. Congratulations. That's awesome. What a sense of accomplishment. Completing that and then also getting the dream job, man, that's outstanding. Also, my brother for a long time now, Damajana. What's up, Fox? Thank you so much for hanging out with us, saying hi, buddy. Can't wait to see you again, hopefully, eventually. It's been a long time coming, and it means a lot when you get together with your friends, your family. It fills a hole in your heart. A little bit of your soul comes back to you. Just like a $10 super chat, $9.99 from the console fanboy. What's going on, buddy? Blitz released without late hits. MK Deluxe without Spectate. Fast and Furious without iconic cars. And technically, the game itself, which is something we're going to get into tonight. Marvel's Capcom 2 without online. Fox, why do we put up with this? Don't you find it insulting? In a way. But I think if you roll the clock back on this channel, when there was some early drama going on, I said, these are toys. They're toys. They're recreations. It is when you put the name on it, Mortal Kombat, and you don't get what you think you deserve, or better yet, you don't think that the game gets what the game deserves. Because that's where somebody can really be insulted. It's the representation of the game that they love. I think you're kind of partial to Mortal Kombat. I heard that. Somebody told me, I don't know, I could be totally wrong. If you really care about the game, AVP for me, you want it represented in the best possible light. And so while I may not take it personally insulting, I think the game itself needs to be represented properly. And if you're going to put the game name on the cabinet you're building, I think it has to be right. And you have to do the game itself justice. But I think to your point, at this stage of the game, you can't insult us also. You've sort of established yourself now, our RK1-Up has. It's not just a rough and tumble startup where they just opened up last week and hey, we got 5 games, but that's it. No, they've been around for a while, and we've seen you do it before. Why can't you do it again? Definitely some questions to. I don't want to give them a pass and say, well, they're just toys, whatever. No, but I think that at this point we got to bear that in mind. So should you spend your hard-earned money on their products? Well, that is a totally different subject. That's a totally different question. But I think that there's a lot to consider when you consider all of that. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. And come on, no surprise. You know what you're getting. Here you go, buddy.
Finish him. Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Hashtag free MK4. If RK1-Up wants me to buy another Mortal Kombat cabinet, it's got to have Mortal Kombat 4 on it. Period. Because I'm not getting the new deluxe until that happens. Not doing it. Darren Kane says, hello from Mr. Notify Me button. I'm glad you smashed the bell icon, and you were notified. That's good. Hail chat, Damaj and I, my brother, saying hail to the chat as well. Giving some props, giving some OTGs in the house. What's going on? Come on, Zoe. Talking to the Z man. You know they got to give us 3/4 of the features. Don't act brand new. Yeah, I mean it's not, and it ain't even 3/4. We've been over this. The 3/4 cab is not 3/4. The XL is technically 3/4. So I guess when they give us less than 75%, we should not be shocked by that either. Andy's in the house. Andy's game room saying, "Evening, everyone. Good to see you." Scroll down. Everybody's console fanboy again saying, yeah, I respect B's honesty. Absolutely. That's the real job of the community, is to point this stuff out. When you see something wrong, if you're not attached to the brand, if you're not, if you're not intertwined, right? If there's no monetary, attachment there, then you're free to say exactly what you want and exactly what the truth is. I hope you find that whenever you get my reviews. I've never got a cab from RK1UP or anything. And if I do get a little something from a company, I say, listen, this was given to me for the purpose of review, but that's never happened for RK1UP. So I hope that at least when you see my review and B's and everybody else out there that's been doing these for several years now, bear in mind we're not getting this stuff. There's no strings attached. So when that's the case, I think it's our responsibility to be as open and honest with you as possible, because we're not talking about $100. We're talking about $500 plus. And people got to know what's going on. They got to know what's really in that box, what's really in that cabinet, that thing that they're buying. They got to know what's inside. And I know there's something great inside this man who just dropped another $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Damaj and I. Can't wait to see you again, buddy. How do you feel about Street Fighter 6? Looks a bit mad to me. Well, Cammy's pre-fight stretch will, fix a lot of my problems with the game. I don't know. At some point, it all turns into like a cel-shaded cartoon fighter. And I think that these games begin to lose their identity, D. I'm going to be honest with you, man. When you go this far and they all just begin to look the same. I mean, especially with the graphics, that these flamboyant colors as they're punching and kicking, just the art style itself, you really have to focus on the mechanics, and you got to fall in love with the mechanics. And if you don't fall in love with the mechanics, then you're probably not going to find a ton to enjoy about it. If you look at some of the fighting games, like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, long time running fighting game franchise based on a weird anime. A couple years ago, they had something come out. Looks a lot like what we're getting from Street Fighter, very artistic, very, very, cel-shaded kind of comic book graphics. And you expect that with something like an anime, when you're talking about Dragon Ball Z and those fighting games, they're trying to mimic an animated character, an art style. But these characters are rooted in the digital form. These characters are rooted in video games. That's what they've always been. So every interpretation is not beholden to a pre-existing. It is beholden to a pre-existing game, but not a different media. So it's not. They're not trying to make something based on a TV show or a cartoon or whatever. And so when they do stuff like that, talking about Street Fighter 6, and they make these art changes, these specific visual changes, you got to kind of wonder why, because it does begin to sort of blend in together with everything else going on out there. If you're talking about crazy, wild, artistic fighters with a unique graphical style, I think that day may be past. I think a lot of that happened in the 2000s, late 90s, all throughout the 2000s. You saw a lot of different games trying to develop their own art style. And I think that's my disconnect with Street Fighter 6. And, Street Fighter 5 for that reason too, is just it kind of starts looking all like the same game in a way. But listen, like I said, Cammy and that arch in the back thing is like, well, let's see what this game has to offer. Thank you so much for the super chat, bud. I do appreciate it. And I got to give you something. You know what? You know what you're getting, brother. Here you go. Sam's Arcade says, "I arcade shooters." Yes, absolutely. I can't wait for more. I enjoy the game. I enjoy Operation Wolf. It's good, but I know it's maybe even seems a little ungrateful, but give me more. Give me more. You got a good thing going. Keep it going. I don't think it does seem like I know especially Michael, he wants you just to be happy with the game you just got. And I think we are. But if that's not exactly your cup of tea, the first thing you're going to say is, great, you've proven the technology. Now where's the game that I want? Rafi Durham says, "What's up, Fox? It's Modelo time here. Very nice. Throw back a good one while I sip my coffee." Delicious. I don't know. It's sad. I'm really rethinking my beverage choice at this point. I did get off work a little bit early today because it just fell apart again. I discovered some big issue. So I'm here by myself doing a startup, and it just kind of fell apart. So I got out a little bit early, so that's why I decided to do something. Do the show. Harry X, what's up? Hello, Foxy. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you indeed. Great to see you. Great to see another $2 super chat from the console fanboy. Says, "Street Fighter is for kids. I stopped watching cartoons in '92 because he's a grown up. We're all grown ups complaining about video games." Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. I do appreciate it. But you know what? You did this to yourself. 2 super chats. I can deny this no longer. You got to go to the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Dominic P. So is there going to be any more announcements for Arcade 1-Up for new releases, or is or is Fast and the Furious the last of the year? So I don't work for Arcade 1-Up. I don't have an in with Arcade 1-Up. I don't. So take all this with a grain of salt. Based on what we've heard, based on conversations I had when I used to be a little more close with the community or with the company, I think that if you're talking about new, here's what I would consider new. The next new, quote air quotes, right? The next new cabinet is actually going to be Capcom Deluxe. Same games list, but you'll get a new look, which hopefully will be more traditional. Is what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking it's going to be the same. Listen, they're going to do the same thing I think they did with the other deluxe cabinets, with Mortal Kombat, with Pac-Man. You're going to get the same. It's a different iteration, but I think they'll return back to the original arcade style. I think more of like that crazy colored 90s we saw with their original Legacy cabinet. I think they go back to that. We got the Shindu Hadouken, we got the custom artwork, and that was fine, but I think that they'll probably return to something a little more traditional, which won't be new. But in my mind, it's what they should have stayed with. When you're talking about the legacies, you need to kind of stick to, the original as much as possible, because these are a legacy product. Take your weird chances with different art styles with different cabinets, not legacy. So I think that the first one coming up is going to be Capcom return to kind of the norm as far as the art style, but the games will be the same. So that technically that's not new as far as games, but I think the look will be more traditional, which would be a welcome change. Time Crisis, I don't know. I do have my opinions. I do have my theories. I think that with the Link's capability, with what we see them doing with ports, these new games are not 100% recreations. They have found a caveat. They have seen what they can get away with Blitz. The weird sales, I think, was just maybe retailers buying too much of the product, but now things have sort of settled down. That cabinet is always $5.99 or $4.99. It bounces back and forth, but it stays pretty consistent. And I think that tells me that, and there's still a lot of them out there. I think what that means at the end of the day, though, is that it actually did sell fairly well. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have any access to their numbers, but I think that it probably sold pretty good, and I think it's going to continue to. Especially more people kind of find out about it. We have the NFL draft going on. Wait till, we start going into the next season. And I think it could be something that could continue to sell pretty well. That was not a 1-for-1 recreation. That was not a direct, here's the ROM, boom. Look at what we're seeing. Look at what we're hearing about with, Fast and Furious. And this isn't even speculation. This is coming from a representative of the company. Travis is a representative of Arcade 1-Up. I mean, he works with Arcade 1-Up. He's seen all this stuff behind the scenes, and he's telling us basically it's not really Fast and Furious. It's Drift, but we cut a little bit out of drift and we're going to call it Fast and Furious. And they've also acknowledged it's a port. It's a port of the game. So we could see more new titles than we think, but they're not going to be arcade original recreations. I think what happens next is going to be there's going to be some port issues. Well, not port issues. They're just going to be, the games are going to be ports. That being said, they're doing that to run it on their chipset. That being said, Time Crisis, I think with the linkability of the cabinet, if Fast and Furious sells well, if YouTubers like me who bought 2, I'm going to put them together and I'm going to check it out. And if it's fun, if I'm digging it, if you get that there's something about co-op play when somebody's standing right next to you. If you can do that with a shooting cab, if you can do that with if you can do that with a racing cab, it's going to be that much more fun to do it with a shooting cab. The big problem with Big Buck Hunter and T2, T2 besides just having one game, was that it's kind of small. 17-inch monitor is pretty small, but if you have 2 side by side, now it's a different story. I think it's a long-winded way of me saying that I think that Capcom Legacy being not technically new, but different, I think if Fast and Furious, I think if Time Crisis happens this year, I think it's possible we could have Time Crisis 2 on there, and then you have linkable cabs. I laid this out last week. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's a function that you can put into the cabinet, and you can say it's there. You have to buy a second cabinet to take advantage of it, but you could say it's there. Linkable is great. Linkable sounds good. Who's really going to buy 2 cabinets? Only those that really care about it. Only those who really care about the game. Because after I buy I've got these 2 cabinets coming. I'm going to check the linkability. But after this, am I going to keep buying 2 of every cab just to do reviews? No. Once I flush out the linkability of these 2 cabinets, I'm probably not going to buy any more. So are you going to buy any more? Are you going to buy even this one? Are you even interested in buying 2 cabs? If you take your wildest imaginations, and I did a poll on this last week, and I got a ton of response. I had over 200 votes. The reason that's significant is that I don't care about this or none was not an option on that poll. There were 4 questions, and they were, it was, hey, would you rather have an XL? Would you rather have a driving cab? But I had over 200 responses, and that means that that's over 200 people in my live stream said, I'll buy one. $600 or $700, XL or deluxe. But that was people saying that I'd buy both of them. I would buy 2. That's a lot of people saying that, because like I said, none was not an option. So I think that, maybe they port Time Crisis 2. Maybe it's not original. Maybe it's not, exactly arcade accurate. But if they think they can get away with it, they will. And wouldn't that cab be cool? I mean, in theory, let's say it's arcade accurate. Time Crisis 1, 1-player game. Time Crisis 2, also a 1-player game, but Time Crisis 2 would be linkable. So you would buy a second cabinet to have 2-player co-op with that one game. So I think Time Crisis is probably going to happen this year, I would imagine. Casino Cades have been announced. So I think they're coming out probably. They did confirm there's going to be an XL cabinet this year. I think it's probably going to be Pac-Man because it's the safest bet. The first XL with a BOE monitor, an IPS monitor, they're gonna hedge their bets. They're gonna make sure that it's a slam dunk, and it's gonna be Pac-Man. I think. Not what I want, but if you like Pac-Man, if you want an arcade, if you want a Pac-Man in your collection, in your little arcade, it would be the one to get. It's not the most glamorous. It's not the most exciting, but I think that's definitely probably going to be the Pac-Man to get. But it's going to be the Pac-Man to end all Pac-Mans. That's pretty much it. You get in it. If there's an XL Pac-Man, and if I buy it, that's it. I'm done. I'm doner than done because I think the XL form factor is really, really nice. It's the true 3/4. I have their 3/4 scale cabs on 4-inch risers sitting right next to my XL Golden Tee, and they're exactly the same height. And they got to be 4 inches higher to get. And then when you compare that to my full size, it's a true 3/4. And I think that's moving forward. It's going to be tough for me to buy their babies anymore when I see what they can do with an XL cabinet. And now I know I can swap the monitor out, I don't care what monitor goes in there. If I like the game enough, I'll get it and just swap the monitor out. And you should too. But there's a lot to be disappointed about. There's a lot to be sad about. But one thing that I'm not sad about is this $10 super chat from Random1999. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate it. Oh no, I'll be moving next Sunday. I'm so sorry. I just went through that. It's hell. It's hell on earth. Probably I won't have time to watch the show. So here's a super chat for the 100th episode. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Listen, no worries. Watch it on the replay when you're dead tired, when you're laying probably on the carpet because you've moved everything and you don't even have a bed, or maybe you're sleeping in your bed, but it's just on the floor, and it's sad and nothing, everything's boxed up and all you want to do is die. Turn my show on and watch the 100th episode. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Got to give you, let's band together. Let's kill the queen. Damon, deal with it. Here we go. A non-arcade one-up question. I like it. Twisted Metal TV show. I did see the trailer. What do you think about it? Well, let's see. It's a TV show. If it was a movie, I think they could pack a lot more into the movie, and the budget will be higher, and you would not have filler episodes, which is what I'm really concerned about. If you've been watching like Star Wars and all that stuff, man, God, their seasons drag on. They have these filler episodes. The lore with Twisted Metal isn't that deep. And Anthony Mackie is a good draw. I think he's a good name. He's a great actor. I think he's got a lot of charisma. But I would like to see maybe some different characters in there. What if The Rock was in it? I mean, I know he's in Fast and Furious. What if The Rock was in it? Over the top, crazy. And I guess we don't know the full cast, so hell, maybe he is. I don't know. But it looks okay. I mean, I'm interested. Video game adaptations, movies, TV shows, they don't have the best track record at all. I don't think I have to tell you that. I think everybody knows. But I'm cautiously optimistic because I dig the game. Is it the one I would pick for a movie? No. Where's my Metal Gear Solid movie? Where's my Metal Gear Solid TV? Now, Metal Gear Solid may have to be a show. There's a lot there. There's a whole lot there. But no, I mean, it's okay. I mean, listen, and I'm not looking for something deep either. Twisted Metal is just Twisted Metal. Just blowing up stuff, shooting cars. So if it's crazy over the top action and really lame story, that's probably perfect. So I don't know. I hope that it's good as long as the budget's there and the action is over the top. Yeah, I mean, if they try to weave some weird narrative in there because it's a TV show, we gotta have no, not really. I don't want all that. I just want something simple. Like I'm thinking it's like a game show. Like the Running Man, but it's Twisted Metal. And so we get a background of all the characters and they come together and then they have like the final, they go through this like a game show. I don't know. That could be kind of interesting, but interesting to see for sure. Papa Brad's in the house, says, hello gamers. How you doing? Good to see you. Okay. How's the Die Hard Arcade project coming? So everything was paused because of the move, but I will give you this update. Videos coming soon for sure. Artwork is done. Looks great. Looks really good. New controls are in. Looks great. Good. Perfect. Awesome. But monitor died. Now the monitor was dim and dark whenever I bought it. The monitor did die. I was holding out for Unico. Hello, with your 26-inch LCD, you were supposed to come to my rescue, but you didn't. So no problem. I actually I traded that one in, and there's a local guy, and I've got a reconditioned monitor. So that's going to go into the cabinet. That's on hold right now until I can get, the arcade built at the house. But it's got actually put the monitor in and I'm kind of done. So yeah, I'm anxious to get it together though. It's a super fun game. I love that game. I love that cabinet. That cabinet is so, when you take the monitor out, it's lightweight. The metal base that it's bolted to is really just what kind of keeps it upright, big plastic cab. It's a very fun game. It's a very cool looking cab. And I'm also toying with the idea of getting a JAMA switcher and then buying the sequel JAMA board and putting it in there and being able to swap between the two games. I did have to get, now there is an adapter you have to get. I did go ahead and buy that because I forget the model of the board, but it's some kind of a different board. It's slipping my mind right now. But I got a conversion for JAMA for that board. Sega Model, I think it's Sega Model 2. Yeah, I think it's Sega Model 2. It's not a strict JAMA connection. So I got a converter. I got an adapter for that. I haven't bought the board yet, but I got my eye on one. So maybe having, Die Hard and then, Dynamite Cop 2, Dynamite Deca, I think is what they call it. So that would be interesting. I'm toying with the idea of having both. So we'll see. We'll absolutely see. Let's go. Oh, singing my song. I want AVP and Hydro Thunder. Yes, AVP blows my mind still to this day why they have not done that. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I can't believe that it hasn't made its way onto one of their Capcom cabinets for sure. But here's the thing with AVP, and I've noticed this. The only way I was able to get the only way it got a home release was with their Capcom arcade stick, their thing that was actually their logo. It was actually the word Capcom, and it was arcade stick. And it was in that collection. And that's what I used to make my my custom arcade 1-up AVP cabinet. But that was only released in the UK. I had to import that thing. So there's some kind of North American release, some kind of licensing that's preventing that from happening. And I guarantee you that's why it hasn't happened yet. Because, listen, brand recognition, Alien and Predator. Come on, they're still making movies to this day with those two franchises. So I don't think that it's a license they haven't pursued. I bet you they have. I mean, John D is, he's got that Capcom background. Why hasn't it happened yet? I don't know. Hey, come on. I'm early. Yeah, I am. I'm really early. I did want this to count as an episode B because I don't have all my stuff. This isn't going to, it's got to be just right. I didn't have time to do all my research and stuff. So this is technically not my 100th episode. It's just a chill and chat. And yes, I stole that from Michael B. Deal with it, buddy. It's the way the world works. Welcome to YouTube, son. Alfred Berger says, yes, hashtag free MK4. I need to scroll. Need to kind of, huge success guild. Happy Sunday, Nancy. Thank you so much. Your hat wearing cat emoji. I love it. I do what I can. I fight the power. Well, I mean, I tussle with it. I argue with the power. I don't really fight with it because it's like, I'm not really, don't really care that much. Okay, well, here we go. Console fanboy. Okay, Fox. Favorite Back to the Future movie? Back to the Future 1, 2, or 3, and why? Okay, here we go. My favorite is Back to the Future 2. It is Back to the Future 2. Back to the Future 3 for me was it was okay. I like Westerns, but I felt like it lost a little bit of its sci-fi goodness. The end was very cool. I loved all three movies. I liked the gimmick of having to push the car to 88 miles an hour. That was kind of cool. The whole scene at the end was cool. But I think the second movie for me, when I was a kid and I watched the first movie, the fact that they even were going to come out with another one, I was like, whatever. That kind of left it on a cliffhanger. But I didn't really think about it. But that last scene in Back to the Future 1 where the car hover converts and takes off, you're just like, wow. And at the end of that movie, you're like, there's no way your mind was just crazy. Like they could do anything. Who knows? It's crazy. So it was really exciting to think about the possibility. But you kind of see, it was 1985. So I was 9 when that came out. So, I just let you put it out of your mind. You're a kid doing other things. And then like in 1991, I think is when both the movies came out back to back to 2 and 3. When it came out, I was just so pumped. I liked their interpretation of the future. I thought it was funny. I thought kids wearing the jeans inside and out. Hover conversion was really cool. Flying cars, obviously. I mean, that's just been a thing. That's a sci-fi staple. The hoverboard is sick. The Pitbull powered hoverboard was awesome. The whole Pepsi is like you can't open it, and it's just the Cafe 80s was awesome. The Max Headroom stuff. I mean, the whole future stuff was really cool. Playing with the Michael J. Fox playing his family members and all that was cool. Going back and forth. The alternate 1985 was cool. And then the flying DeLorean there's just so much to love there. And I know that the third movie, they were wrapping it up and it got a little more serious, but the second movie for me is the most fun. And that's my favorite version of the car is the hover conversion for sure. Lot to love there. Lot to love there. Just like this $5 super chat. Lots to love here from Huge Success Guild. Hey, 19K. I'm worried about my wallet. If Time Crisis supports Cab Link, which it does, I currently have 1 to 3 on 1 to 3 on PlayStation. Oh, with guns hooked up to a 37-inch CRT, should I pass? I say wait. Wait. It's not even technically been announced yet. It's not technically been announced. And I am assuming it's going to be linked. So we don't, the only thing we know for sure is that, Fast and Furious is going to be linked. Time Crisis, we don't know. But yes, I'm with you. I'm on board. If it is, I just said that I'm not going to buy another cab that's linked just because it's linked. But at the same time, Time Crisis, including Time Crisis 2, plus I'm thinking Steel Gunner 1 and 2 is going to be on there. It's, it could be a lot of fun. It could be a ton of fun. What's the other game on there? What's the other? Yeah, here. Point Blank. Yeah. If Point Blank is the other game on there too, that's like a cool mini game. Having two, and one of my caveats, I know this is silly, but it's not a caveat, but it's like a requirement. I want one to be red. I want one to be blue. I want them to listen. We saw that with the Capcom Legacy. They had two different color schemes, completely radically different art style, or not art styles, but arts. Right, the artwork was different. There were different characters on the side. The control deck was wildly different than the other. So if you just make the same cabinet, but one's blue and one's red, I mean, what's the production cost there? And I want that would be really cool side by side. Am I going to hang on to my two Fast and Furious cabinets forever? I don't know. Probably not. I'll probably sell one. I mean, unless it's really fun, I'll keep both of them. But if not, I might just sell the second one, But Time Crisis with Time Crisis 2 side by side link, that's an incredible addition for sure. That's an incredible addition to your arcade. So obviously you wait. I can't say pass or fail yet because they haven't officially announced it. We don't officially know what games it's going to be. It could be non-linked and it could just have Time Crisis 1 on it. And then obviously 2 cabs is not an option. And then it's like, okay, it's just Time Crisis 1. So it's probably not as tempting. But I don't know, man. If that's the case, if what I'm hoping for, my little prediction, if that comes true, that would be really sick. Let's scroll on down here. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Kevin, when is the next update show? I'm not sure. The Arcade 1-Up next update show. I don't know when. While I'm doing it, let me check the let's do it live. Let's go check out Arcade 1-Up official. Let's see. Let's go to Arcade 1-Up official. And nothing is scheduled as of yet. So they had episode, the episodes are pretty erratic. Can I share my screen? Let me share my screen. Can I share my screen? Can I share my screen? Everybody going to share my screen. Here we go. There we go. So yeah, to say their schedule is erratic is probably the, understatement of the year. Yeah. So, 3 weeks ago, is this right? Is this, oh no, the 1-Up show. So the one update. So the episode 4 of the 1 update show was 3 weeks ago. And then they had like 2 back-to-back, didn't they? Yeah. So it's kind of all over the place. I'm not sure exactly what is going to happen there. Stop sharing that. But I don't think it's official yet as far as when the next one is. So we'll see. Tammy G's in the house. What is this? Sorcery. An early stream? Yeah, this is not this week. This is just chilling chat, hanging out, talking, answering questions, and all that stuff. Chris Burns says, okay, if New Wave Toys made a 3/4 scale cab, are you talking 3/4, like Arcade 1-Up's 3/4, like a 17-inch monitor, or like a 19-inch, like a true 3/4? Let's say you're talking, I think you're probably talking about a 17-inch version. Okay. Would you be on board? And at what price point if they were truly faithful to the arcade machines, knowing their attention to detail, the quality and detail? I think we're kind of really wanting that, right? We're really wanting a true recreation, a faithful recreation to the cabinets that we love from back in the day. 3/4 scale, something we can easily move around the house, but a true representation. You're talking about a very expensive proposition. You can forget $500. That's not going to happen, because to do that, you got to have a single side piece. You got to have it fully assembled. I mean, it's just, you just have to. I mean, there may be a few components you could assemble, but really this thing has to be damn near fully assembled. You can't have exposed hardware. I mean, their attention to detail would probably not even allow them to do something like that. But would I be game? Yeah. But I think at a price point of $800, I don't know that they would go, $1,000 might be crazy. But let's say $800. Let's kick them out of the RK1 price range for the time being. And they're offering you Street Fighter. Are you going to pay $800 for Street Fighter? You're going to get excellent quality. Something mostly assembled. I don't know. You get to the point where you're going to start asking yourself, okay, so what does this make sense? There's a lot of compromises with RK1-Up, but they're $500-ish. Once you go beyond that, you have to really start asking yourself, is it worth it? If New Wave Toys could maintain their quality and give you a price point of $800, I would probably buy one, but it's only going to be a select few. And it's not a forever thing, but it's a damn near forever thing, because I'm not going to buy anything else again at that size. I'm not going to settle for an RK1-Up version when I have that out there. So they maintain their quality. It's something that's damn near 100% assembled. So I know that the fit and finish is great. $800, depending on the title. Yeah, I'd be down with that. I would be down. I don't think you can say we're going to get all this stuff, phenomenal quality at $500. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. See, take that with a grain of salt. But I think that if those were the parameters, yeah, I'd be down with that. Absolutely. Let's see. Still watch those cartoons from back in the day, Rescue Rangers and stuff like that. It's almost like a time capsule, isn't it? There's a purity in those cartoons. Yes, it was Disney, and Disney's always been corporate and all that, and I get that. But hand-drawn animation, the shows weren't pushing an agenda either way. It was just, here's a show, and here's an adventure, and here's all that, Tailspin and Rescue Rangers, all that stuff. They just don't make stuff like that anymore, and it's just kind of sad. But it's no, you're not gonna hurt my feelings by talking about DuckTales. Great sliver of time, man. That time, that animation. It could be Fast and Furious is going to be a huge disappointment. If you're a big fan of the original cabinet and you want a recreation, a true recreation, Console Fanboy did the super chat earlier. We talked about it. You might be insulted. I think we have to understand at this point, RK1-Up's not going to give us exactly what we want when it comes to, accurate recreations. Some of the steps they're taking are good. Design elements are making their way into the production line. Deluxe cabinets look great. They haven't come out with one yet that I want to buy. Well, I guess I take that back. I just bought two. Of the Fast and Furious. But like the Legacies, I don't want any of those. I'm holding out for Capcom. Capcom will be the next one I get, hopefully, unless it's god awful. I mean, unless it really sucks. I've been really, really thinking about getting for a while there. I was going to get the Shinku Hadouken, but then when the deluxes were confirmed, I'm like, you know what? Let's just wait. Let's just wait and see what that's going to be. It's probably going to be the same games list, and I would like a more traditional looking Street Fighter cabinet. But the exception of the first one that came out, they haven't really hit it out of the park for me. I like the art style. I like the graphics of that first Legacy cabinet, but the wings and the control panel, I just hated it. I just hated the feel. I got the Mortal Kombat version, that Midway Legacy, that first generation. It was just horrible. I just hated it. I was able to kind of fix the control panel, and it made it better. All right, I'm switching it up. No more coffee. That's getting cold. Coke Zero. But so I'm looking forward to that deluxe. But Fast and Furious could very well be a disappointment. The memes of destruction. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. We're just chilling, chatting, talking about the arcades, arcade one-up and stuff. Demongenot, what's going on at 19K bucks? I hear you. Street Fighter, yeah, it should be two and 3D was an issue. Yeah, that step from 2D to 3D, those sprites that I really fell in love with the CPS2 versions, with the alpha games, with the Marvel versus Capcom, those crossover games, that art style I love. To me, that was perfect. And Street Fighter 3 wasn't bad, but it was like this it was like as SNK inspired. You saw Capcom versus SNK, their art style kind of morphing, and my favorite is going to be that CPS2, those alpha games, the versus games, the crossovers. That art style to me is my favorite, whether you're talking about Wolverine, Ryu, or just Street Fighter in general. Street Fighter EX was the beta, and it could have been awesome if cleaned up. Street Fighter 6 is going too far. I think I got to agree with you. Back to the Future 2 is my fave. Hoverboard's future, and it has Back to the Future 1 in it. So it's like 2 for 1. That makes sense. 2 for 1 deal. Absolutely. See, Dave. Okay, sure. Got Capcom Deluxe. Capcom Legacy Deluxe. If they don't new games, then I'd like to get the original Legacy lineup, but with online play. There you go. Absolutely. Okay, Cobra Kai, sup, Fox, sup, homie. I haven't been active because I'm looking for a new job. Hopefully Tennessee. Oh, okay, you're trying to relocate? Turn down a Colorado job because of home prices. Yeah, home prices. Colorado's tough right now. Tennessee is kind of where it's at. I think they're really trying to attract people to their state with some of the laws and really being friendly to businesses and all that. Good to see it. No, you don't ever have to apologize for missing the show or not being active. We got lives. I just always want you to feel like you can come right back and pick up where we left off, and we're just having fun. No reason to get up to apologize at all. JT says, I think people are overreacting to the Fast and Furious news about the game being changed. Raw Thrills personally did the port. They likely made it as close as they could with the license they had available. Yeah, and I think licensing always tends to be the issue. We're talking about cars that are missing. Evidently, Mazda cars aren't in it. It's probably Dodge. The Dodge cars aren't in it. It just comes down to licensing when you're going to port the game. Unfortunately, if you can do a recreation, that's one thing. But licensing tends to get in the way of those recreations. And it's kind of a damn shame, really. Michael B says, but if they aren't arcade ports, then what's the point of the cab? You have to make that decision for yourself. That's a valid point. If it's just a port, then why didn't they just release the game on Switch and I can just play it on my Switch? I don't know. Bob says Arcade 1-Up did the same thing with BBH. They combined and separated. It wasn't really for arcades. That's true. That's very true. They do what they can to I don't know. It is a double-edged sword, guys. I think they get a lot of flack. Arcade 1-Up does. I don't think it's warranted. I think it's justified in a lot of cases, in a lot of ways. But if you're given this option, okay, here's the game you want 100%. You can't have it. Okay. Nothing you can do. There's no amount of money that can get you there. Okay. I'm sorry. I take that back. But there is an amount of money to get you there, but it's just astronomical. You would have to go to Dodge. Let's say in this case, you'd have to go to Dodge and Mazda personally and get them to sign off on it and pay millions of dollars. Okay. So there's that. Then the price of the cab doubles, let's say. Or here's the other option. You can have the game, cut this, and this out, and keep that price at $500. What do you do? What would you do? What would I do? I don't know. Some games like, Fast and Furious, I don't have a ton of sentimental value to it. I don't have a ton of, it's got to be a perfect recreation. So I have some leeway there. Alien versus Predator? No. Just like Street Fighter. If they come out with Street Fighter and it's missing characters, no. What do you? No, no. I mean, it's a waste of my time. These are games that I care about. These are games that I want. But no. It's just it's a valid point. I mean, it's not a valid point. It's a good conversation. It's a good exercise to put yourself through. A mental exercise. Let's pretend you have that option. What do you realistically, what do you do? Do you not bring anything to the market, or do you bring something with compromise? I've said this for a long time. These are compromises. These are not one-for-one recreations. You have to decide for yourself, where is that line? You know, if your line is, I want it a perfect recreation. I want the exact ROM from back in the day, but I can deal with the crappy construction and crappy controls, and I'll just replace them. That's fine. Okay, that's one line to have. And then if RK1 crosses your line, don't buy the cabinet. Period. You communicate with them with your wallet, like any other brand out there. If it's not what you want, don't buy it. Don't buy it. If you don't care about the ROM, but the controls have to be perfect, and they cross that line for you, don't buy it. If you don't care about if the ROM is if the ROM is 75%, and if the controls are crappy, I don't care, because I don't mind upgrading them. But the shape of the cabinet and the artwork has to be perfect, because I'm not messing with that. Well, if that's your line and they cross it, don't buy the cabinet. Period. Don't buy it. They have to earn your business, not the other way around. We support companies that we want to support, you know, but it's also not a charity. Well, I'll buy the cabinet because I support. No. They still have to earn our business. They have to make a product we want to buy. And, find out where your line is. And if they cross it, don't buy it. Do not buy it. I will get 2 cabs at the price drops $299. Good, smart man. Smart man. Just because I'm doing it at full price does not mean you should. Wait for my review. I'll tell you all about it. Good, bad, or indifferent. MG says that 19K Fox, really, you should buy 4 to demo and test the local link potential. Just right is right, but no. Like I said, I'm personally buying these cabinets. I'm not getting anything for free. It's not like, well, Fox, if you buy one, RK1 will provide you with one. No, that's not. I'm buying these on my own. So you'll get a good, honest review. No caveats. No, well, they gave, no. Nope. No. But no, 4? Dude, come on. I'm nuts, but I'm not that nuts. Hobby Hand says, I think if you care enough to buy 2 cabs, you probably want a version that are almost exact. Well, no, this is a great point too. And not cut down versions. That does cross another line. But Hobby Hands, I think this is a line that probably everybody's going to draw. Everybody in the community is going to draw. Okay, listen, all right. 1 cabinet with caveats is fine. But if you're asking me to buy 2, it's got to be exactly what I want. We go back to what I just said. Controls, ROM, whatever. If you're asking me to buy 2 to take advantage of this linkable functionality, it's got to be exactly what I want. 100%. I'm not buying 2 and no. I don't care what it is. And I'm with you. And that's asking too much. So if they can't get there for 1 cabinet, what the hell makes them think they're going to get there for 2? There you go. Everybody's got to figure out what their line is. And I'm serious. I think everybody has to figure out what it is you want. Understand it's not going to be 100%. And we just have to know that. Okay, so then what am I willing to accept? Whatever that is. It's going to be different for everybody, I think. And then if they cross that line, then don't buy their products. It's just that simple. Make them work harder to earn your business. Tammy G says, how many Pac-Mans are sitting on shelves around the world? It's got to be a lot. It's got to be a ton. You remember this? I updated this graphic. Check this out. So now we're up to 15. Maybe 15 is a bit unfair. I'm sure some of these have really died. I'm sure some of these have kind of gone by the wayside. We can probably scratch a few of these off. After P-Dub's review of the Couchcade, I think that one's pretty much shot. But you've got 15 form factors out there. I added the Deluxe as another form factor. It's technically another form factor. You got XLs, you got the Luxes, you got 3/4, and you got all the other stuff. So how many of these are out there? Probably a ton. I guess it makes sense for somebody to keep making Pac-Man in all these different variants and variations. I guess for some reason it sells. It's a good game, but dude. Michael B says, true, JT, but my point is if it's not the arcade version, why make it an arcade cabinet? I think it goes back to that option you have. I'm sorry, Mitchell. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Michael. I apologize. Mitchell B. That's what they gotta, that's what Arcade 1UP is deciding. They have to decide for themselves. Okay, do we pay all the money? If it's a licensing thing, if the chipset can handle it and it's just licensing, do we pay tons of money? Oh, even if the chipset doesn't handle it. So if it's licensing and there's a ton of extra cost for licensing, or if it's a ton of extra cost to get a different chipset, and then it drives the price up astronomical, that's one thing, you know? And then we just don't do it at all. Or, hey, we're going to bring you this stripped down version of it. I don't know what the right answer is. I think it's different for every brand. I think that when they see Pac-Man, they'll just slap Pac-Man. They'll make Pac-Man whatever. They'll put Pac-Man on everything. But yeah, when it came down to, okay, here it's 2023. What are we releasing this year? Fast and Furious. Well, why are you releasing Fast and Furious? And maybe this gets to the heart of your question. Mitchell, not Michael. Sorry, I'm an idiot. If that's the case, then okay, Fast and Furious. Okay, well, why Fast and the Furious? Because this is the question. If you're sitting in a boardroom and somebody says, well, Fast and the Furious, that's what we're going to do. Okay, well, why? The movie tie-in. Okay, great. Can we have the movie characters on the cabinet? Well, no. Okay, well, can we get can our chipset run the game? Well, no. But Raw Thrills is going to make us a port. Okay, so why are we bringing this to the market? Well, because of the movie coming out. Okay, but you're so for the name, so you're doing all this just for licensing tie-in that you don't really have. You don't really have you don't have the original art. You don't have the original cars. So if it's just a tie-in it's a tie-in, but it's not a direct tie-in. You just hope that if the movie does well, which this is the 10th movie in the series, you just hope that that's going to drive sales. I mean, that's the first question I would ask if I was CEO, man, with a cigar, making decisions. I'd be like, okay, well, but why? Fast and Furious. Why? Is it, can we run the ROM? No, we got to have a port. Okay, well, can we get Vin Diesel on the side? No. Okay, well, then why are we doing it? Of all the games out there, of all the games that are still unreleased by Arcade 1UP that we know we can run flawlessly, why not one of those? Why Fast and Furious, the first new title? I don't know. I have no clue. Just like I have no clue of the depths of people's generosity. Like Bozo with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I don't have a clue why you guys think enough of this channel to give me a little love, some super chats, and I do appreciate it. A $2 super chat. Happy Sunday, 19K Fox. I bought 2 Fast and Furious. You did, my brother. You and me. We are insane together. Insane, some would say, in the membrane.
Let's go.
Wolverine win!
Rookie.
MG with a question, a personal question. How much of your year do you travel for work at 19K Box? I don't know how you get it done. Personal question. So if you applied for the job that I have, they say 75% travel. Roughly that. We have a season. It ramps up, it ramps down. It tends to get crazy. I'm in the packaged ice industry. It ramps up right before the summer. Crazy. Everybody's trying to get, and then the summertime, it usually will slow down dramatically. But how do I get stuff done? I'm type A. I get home and I gotta be doing something. I got to be doing something. And the only thing that slowed me down really is this move. That's why it was such a big deal for me. This move was a big deal. It cut into all my free time. All my free time has been spent moving, obviously, getting the house in order. When you move in a new house, you got to paint some walls and do some things and hang 5,000 pictures and all that, and then get the studio set up downstairs and get that together. So it's been sucking up all my free time because I've really just got weekends. This time of the year, I really just have weekends. And that's why you'll see sometimes I'll cancel the show and push it and all that. So it's, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jason M, exactly. There's not a perfect swap out for Centipede. It's just that vertical orientation is tough. It's tough. Dominic P with the super sticker. What's a super sticker? Let me look over here at the super sticker. The super sticker is, what is it? I'm scrolling down. Oh, dude, the chat has jumped. What, did I miss it? Where is it? It is a pair with a thumbs up. Awesome. I got to catch up with this chat a little bit. Thank you so much for the super sticker, buddy. I really do appreciate it. $3. I got to give you a little something for that. Come on. What can we give you? I don't have a pair video game clip, but here you go. Check this one out. Thank you so much for your super sticker. If you could, at 19K Fox in the chat so I can read your questions. I don't want to miss them. JJ, hit Ed Fox. Why is it that RK1UP seems to know what fans want but won't deliver? Do they simply think the real retailers won't buy it, and or they can't make enough money selling it direct? They sell to retailers, 100%. So Walmart, Best Buy, particularly Best Buy, whatever Best Buy is willing to buy, they'll sell. So there's probably a lot of demo cabs that we haven't seen that they show to retailers, and then they say yes or they say no. I do know that they did make that 6-player X-Men. I think it was more of an experiment. I don't even know if they showed that to retailers. That was going to be really expensive, so they didn't do it. But yeah, they made a 6-player, 27-inch monitor, just like my 3rd generation one that I made. 27-inch monitor. It was 6-player. I haven't seen pictures of it, though. I wish John D would just send it to me. Come on, let me do it. I'll do a side-by-side comparison. But that's not going to happen. I don't even know if it still exists. They could have tore it apart. I have no idea. And it could have been real rough, too. I have no idea. I don't know if they did full artwork or whatever, but they cater to retailers. That's it. Why don't they do direct? I don't think they want to take on the shipping costs or whatever. I don't think they want all that. Yes, Metal Gear Solid already happened. Kurt Russell is yes. That's where they got the name. Snake Plissken. That's where they got the name of the character. Let me scroll down just a little bit more. Scroll down. I got to get caught up a little bit. I apologize. You did a stream of Dynamite Cop? Sweet. It's good. I'm obviously way behind. Way behind. Can't believe how far behind I am. Here we go. Lisa's Retro Lounge. How you doing, Lisa? Good to see you. Got to be Back to the Future 2 for me. Watched it in the cinema and fell in love with it. Absolutely. A lot to fall in love with there, just like fall in love with this $2 Super Chat from Console Fanboy. Dude, your favorite is Back to the Future 2? You scored major points. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. Glad to see you made it out of the pit. You crawled out of the pit, but unfortunately, I'm sorry. Just when you get out, I'm going to pull you back in.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I think it's the first double pit I've ever had. It had to happen. Sorry, had to happen. Scrolling on down, trying to get caught up with everybody. Once again, if you can just at 19K Fox in the chat so I can answer questions. Continue to talk. Continue to talk. Oh boy. I knew this would happen. He's very attached to the Chill and Chat moniker, but I use a different font. So good luck, fella. Your lawyers. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Let me scroll down here. I'm trying to get caught up. I don't want to go past. Here we go. Here's an at 19K Fox. Okay, yeah. Thanks for reminding me of the Tailspin. So, yeah, and it was a great time in animation for sure. Scrolling down. What up, dude? My brother. Literally. Yeah, I'm giving it a shot. For those of you who don't know, I can grow a hell of a mustache. Tom Selleck would eat his heart out. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. Shannon, the problem RK1UP created, they put 2 3-player games on a Big Blue, then 2 4-player games on the Shinku, whatever. Either create 4-player cabs or allow us to link these cabs. Something. I mean, I really want a 3-player, to be honest with you. I've said that before in many streams. I love 3-player. Here's an old slide. You know, I loved it so much. I made a custom Rampage. You give me a 3-player cabinet with Alien versus Predator, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. You got Merc. I mean, you can just, the list goes on and on. Give me a 3-player. I think if they want to stick to that form factor, if they want to stick to that control deck size, 3 players would fit perfectly on it. Absolutely perfectly. Okay. Hey, Fox from Red Kryptonite. Kryptonite T? Yeah, okay. Let's go with that. Hey, Fox, long-time sub. Thank you so much for subscribing and viewer. But don't catch the live stream often because it's a little bit late. I know, I do apologize. That's why I'm changing it up tonight and doing something a little bit earlier. Just want to say I love the channel. I appreciate it. I tried super chatting, but it doesn't seem to be working for me. Don't worry. Keep your money. You might have to save it for all these cabinets coming out. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much again for that. Let me scroll down a little bit. Goofyfoot says, dang, Fox, no one will buy anything. Maybe not. Maybe they shouldn't buy them. Don't buy a damn thing. Listen, like I said, you got to realize for yourself, where's that line? You know, and if they cross it, don't buy it. And Nooner is his line is $2.99. Do not buy unless it's $2.99. Nothing wrong with that. That's a good policy. All these cabs eventually work their way down to it. So yeah, wait and you'll save a fortune. Don't be silly like me and pay full price because it, unless you really want it. Okay, Bob, I thought about this game too. Let's talk about it. If they link the grid, I'm in trouble. It's the kid's favorite, a Galloping Ghost still. The thing about that is it is a multiplayer. Like it has to be multiplayer. So let's say, it's got computer controlled characters. So I guess you could buy a grid and I guess just play the computer. I'm talking about a scenario where the grid is graphically challenging and they can't figure out online multiplayer, which is kind of the problem they're having with Fast and Furious. So if they have the grid and if you can't play people online, they would have to link it to have any kind of replay value because you can only play against the computer for so damn long. Did they have computer controlled characters? I'm sure they did. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, that's a game that, it's almost like you would have to sell 2 as a bundle. It would have to be 2 cabs minimum. But yeah, I thought about that the other day. I'm like, what if they did that? But it's a game that they'd have to figure out the online play because you have to play online. You have to play with other players. You got to reach out and touch somebody. It's got to hit you in the feels. Just like this $10 super chat from Console Fanboy. I thought you were saving your money for a convention, buddy. Come on. Transportation. It's okay. I do appreciate the super chat, man. Awesome. My MK Deluxe is officially it's officially on sale. If they're going to do it, they better do it right. I'm over I hear you, buddy. I'm over the VS. Fox is right. I'm boycotting the next MK cab they release without MK4. I'm preparing for war. It's a bit harsh, but no, I think that my line in the sand is, listen, I keep buying these cabinets and you keep doing the Mortal Kombat, the midway cabinets, get the minimum improvements before they get a new iteration. So you'll get that great art star, you'll get that great style with the last legacy, but you get a crappy monitor, and now you get the new deluxe style, but you don't have spectate, and it's the exact same games and you're still putting Paperboy on it. For God's sakes, why? So I just want more out of my next Mortal Kombat cabinet. It's just got to be more than the appropriate monitor that should have been in it from the very beginning. To me, that's not even an improvement. That's something that must have been there. The deluxe cabinet looks good, but it's still going to need a 4-inch riser. So I'm going to have a riser on my riserless cabinet. So maybe I'm just waiting for deluxe. But listen, if the deluxe cabinet doesn't have Mortal Kombat 4 on it, I'm not buying it. I'm not going to do it. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Really appreciate it. Going to give you, okay, I can't send you to the pit twice. So here you go.
Finish him. Wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Let me scroll down just a little bit more. Try to say hi to everybody. Try to get Arcade One Up should just sell ROMs that you can add. That's probably a big licensing nightmare because I think that companies sign up to have certain games on certain cabinets. We've talked about this before. I mean, I like the idea. I mean, it would be great to have an online enabled cabinet and just be able to have like a store like iArcade does and just download games to it. But I think that's a licensing nightmare. I think companies only sign on if they know exactly what the product is going to be. So they have to see the product. They have to see final versions of it. They have to know what games this is going to be on it. They're going to have to know, okay, it's got Wi-Fi. Are you adding games? Because I guarantee you, adding games is like probably a no-go for them. And it would also kill sales. They are furniture salesmen. They sell furniture. They sell these cabinets. And if they just had something that was constantly, they constantly had the ability to add games to, I think it would probably kill future sales. And for iArcade, that's fine. They want you to buy one cabinet and then, download all their games. But that's not the model for Arcade One Up. It will be cool. It will be cool because they have the games I think we want. But it's just not going to happen, I don't think. And it's sad. It's sad. And one way to kind of lift your spirits is going to be a $10 super chat from BCB147. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Did you catch the Tetris movie? No, I actually, no, I didn't. I heard about it. I want to watch it. It's on Netflix, right? It's tough to keep up with all this stuff. Like Netflix used to be, if it was streaming, it was Netflix and that was it. Now everybody's got a streaming service. So it's tough to keep up with. Netflix or Peacock. Maybe it was Peacock. Anyway, the reason Nintendo went with black and white versus color for the Game Boy was because it made required 8 batteries instead of 4. Okay, so they compromised. Shame no one liked that. It's a shame, isn't it? They compromised on the Game Boy version of Tetris so that they could bring it to that platform. Something they've been doing forever, maybe. It's a valid point you make. So let's talk about that for a second. Whether it's Sony and the PSP, whether it's Nintendo and the Game Boy, you're talking about porting to a different device. So they would get the game and then they would put it on their smaller handheld devices. And rarely was it the same game. Very rarely was it the same game. Back in the day, and to you, I love the I love your example of Tetris because when I was a kid and the Game Boy was out, I didn't get one. We didn't have that much money. We had an NES, but I didn't get a Game Boy. And we would go to Walmart in East Texas. And Mom would go shopping, and I would run to the electronics section because they had the Tetris in that display, mounted, bolted to the glass countertop there. And I would just play Tetris over and over again. I just loved the Game Boy. I loved it. So the thought of it not being exactly like the NES version crossed my mind, but it was not going to be something that prevented me from buying the game at all. If I would have been able to buy the game, it's something I've been okay with since Arcade One Up came out. I'm fine with the fact that there are some changes. This is a compromise. The versions of the arcade games running on these little, half-inch MDF recreations aren't always the same. For the older games, they can be because it's easy to do. It's easier to do. But no, I think that it's, it is a compromise machine. These are compromises. Absolutely. What level of compromise are you comfortable with when we're talking about spending $300? Back in the day, I can't remember the original price of the Game Boy, but it was pretty steep. And you had to get that and you had to get another cartridge to get that game. But people were okay with that. They understood the limitations of the hardware, and that was a compromise they were willing to make. So they did. The same could be said for this. I think it's a healthy way to look at Arcade One Up. Is to say, it's a different version of the game, or it's a different experience. I think we want the same version of the game. We want that arcade ROM. And in a lot of cases, they're giving us that. But I think there's a cutoff. If you've used MAME for any period of time, there's limitations to MAME. There's limitations to some of these emulators. There's limitations. I mean, once you get beyond a certain point, it's just tough to run them. I mean, Hydro Thunder, those games in that era, you think that it's no big deal. They had full-blown PCs in them running those games. Arcade One Up's not going to be able to do that. So, there's compromises being made all the time. Even if it was a perfect recreation of the ROM, even if the arcade cabinet that it's in is an exact recreation of the cabinet, it's still smaller. Even if it was 1-to-1, all right, not 1-to-1, even if it was exact, like they duplicated everything, but they still made it smaller, it's still smaller. That in and of itself is a compromise. If everything else was the same or correct, IL sticks in the machine, everything, it's still smaller. And for some people, they're going to complain about this regardless. So even that little part, that little line may be too much. That may be too much of a compromise for you. And then that may be a line that you don't want them to cross. And they did. So at the end of the day, I think that's what we have to ask ourselves. What is that line? What is the compromise you're not willing to make? And then don't make it. Don't buy the cabinet. Wait till it goes on sale. And that's how we're going to communicate to RK1 of what cabinets do we buy day one? Full price. Let them look at those numbers and say, damn, when we did that, they really responded and they paid full price. Maybe let's do that again. And if that is a good recreation of the cabinet, original ROMs, original versions of the game, a faithful recreation, if we're rewarding that behavior versus just another cab, well, then maybe they'll think twice. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. And, you know what? Here you go.
Perfect. Hyper combo KO. Game's over. Time to call it quits.
All right. What else is next? Hail. DJ Odyssey. Man, good to see you again. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by the chat, man. I do appreciate it. Scrolling down. No, I'm not in Dallas right now. You in the big defense? No, I wish. I wish. No, I'm in San Diego. I'm over here in Cali. Yes. I gotta check it. Everybody's telling me good things about it. I gotta check it out. It's like Chernobyl, but for video games. No, I don't think that's not accurate. That's sorry. That's not it. That's probably it's a bad way to go about it. Yeah. Hey, you know what? When you have good advice given to you, you need to recognize it. You need to take part of it. You need to take it to heart. Just like my good friend Snowdub, the bestest of moderators, says, listen, smash the like button. It does you good. It does your body good. It's free. No reason not to do it. Let me scroll down here. See if I'm scrolling down. I'm changing my YouTube channel to Mitchell B. Well, listen, maybe you should, okay? And before you start coming in here and threatening people with lawsuits, huh? What are you, Steven Crowder? What the hell? Here we go. Rights Retrocade. I think this year is going to be calm before the storm. Home arcade isn't going away, but it's refined. It'll refine. Less mass consumable and more Stern-like high-end machines for collectors. The thing about it is we're hearkening back to a different time, and we're recreating stuff that existed before. So the home arcade community was not birthed by Arcade 1-Up. It's always been there. I've had real machines. Some of you have had real machines. Some of you still have real machines, just like I do. Real machines from back in the day. Not recreations. We've had MAME on our computers. We've probably made a multicade from time to time. And it's never going to go away. If Arcade 1-Up folds tomorrow, we're still going to be here. We're still going to be pursuing this hobby. If Unico if they would come out with their LCD, their 26-inch LCD, a lot of the intimidation, a lot of the negatives of a real arcade machine are going to go away. You're going to be able to have a machine that is not saddled with this monitor that is incredibly heavy, that is prone to failure. And you got to go somewhere and you got to have a $300, replacement rebuilt for you. And how long is that going to last? That's going to breathe new life into this hobby, I think. And then we're going to be able to maintain our machines. We're going to be able to maintain our PCBs, and we're going to retain as much of that as possible. With the Mister out there and new games being available for that. That's going to continue to drive the home market. There's a lot of us like, there's the old Jeff Foxworthy joke where he's talking about, and no relation. He's talking about his dad and fashion. And he's like, I believe that old people, your parents, at some point, they're riding along on the fashion train. And then at some point they say, that's it, I'm not going any further. A lot of us game that way. I think my point that I didn't quit totally, but when I really was into it, I was into it for a very long time. And then PlayStation 3 was probably, honestly, to look back on it, that was the last console I really heavily invested in. Game after game, multiple controllers, really into it. I've got a PS4 now. I actually got a couple. And, I got a couple games for PS4, but I absolutely adored the PS3. I loved everything about it. I had the Fat. I still got a Fat. I have a Metal Gear Solid Fat that I don't play. Works, but I don't play it. It's just for display. I had the Slim PS3. I still have a Super Slim PS3 right now. A couple of them, actually. One of those is powering the X-Men 6-player cabinet. I love PlayStation 3. But for me, that was kind of it. I think a lot of us are like that, even going back a little bit further. That's where we want to stay. So we want to just, like you said, to your point, refine it. We want to make that attainable for a lot of people. We want to be able to preserve that as much as possible, recreate that original experience, and stay in those decades where we were most comfortable gaming. It's going to be different for everybody. I find myself when a new console comes out, I'm kind of honestly looking to see if there's a retro collection or a Sega Genesis collection or something like that. Is it going to have AVP on it? It never happens, but I'm always wondering. So I think that it's never going to go away for sure. Never going to go away. Hopefully we can have companies, Arcade 1-Up and whatever, that do refine their product and give us a better product. With Arcade 1-Up, I don't know. It could go a couple different ways when you're talking about the future of this company, of Arcade 1-Up, what they're doing. You had Blitz with kind of Blitz was a port, a recreation, HD, but still not exactly the game. They got away with that, even with the online issues. There's some exceptions being made with some of these other games, Marvel versus Capcom 2, and now we're hearing all the issues, all the changes being made, and the acknowledgement right off the bat that we're getting a port of Fast and Furious. Do they continue down that path and say, listen, why are we striving for originality? Why are we trying to recreate the original? Why are we trying to give them that? Let's just give them a port. It's going to cheapen it. So instead of refining it, like you were hopefully, Mitchell, Wrights, when you were really hoping that they would refine it, maybe they don't, and maybe they just give us these ports, these sort of, dumbing down of the original. Well, then it just becomes this conversation of, well, then why don't I just get it on Switch or something? Why am I buying a cabinet dedicated to a port of the real thing? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Kind of becomes this argument that I hated on Killer Instinct. I hated the console versions being on that cabinet. It just pissed me off. Like, just have the 3 games. It didn't piss me off, but it was just like, why are you putting a console game on an arcade recreation cabinet? I don't get that. Makes no sense to me. P-Dub's in the house saying, Fox in a hotel room. Pedals on the twin bed behind you. Where's the candles? Well, I'm lighting them after the stream. Because if I do it now, they'll burn out, and that's horrible. Yeah. Well, yes, I did. Absolutely. So, what do you guys? No, because I'm a fool, P-Dubs. I'm a fool. I have kept those pre-orders, and I'm gonna bring it on. I want to see what they did. And maybe if you're in the Cincinnati area, maybe you'll be able to pick up one of those cabs for cheap. If I'm really pissed off, if I'm really disappointed, I'll sell that second one pretty quick. Shannon says, what do you think is the reason Arcade 1-Up hasn't released a 3-player cab or more 4-player cabs? Have they abandoned these multiplayer cabs? I want local, not Wi-Fi. Is that over? I like local also. I want that. I prefer that over Wi-Fi. with the exception of gaming with some of your friends that you can't see. It was so fun playing football with Michael B, P-Dubs, you know, these guys that I don't get to see. That is incredibly fun. But Blitz also had local multiplayer. Why haven't they done it? I don't know. I've been asking this question. I think on the last stream we talked about how the 4-player, the next evolution of the 4-player should really, we see what they did with Blitz. I was kind of hoping that we'll get like a Blitz, like a deluxe form factor, with the Blitz style, the 4-player, and then that would be the next iteration. But I'm not seeing that. I've not heard any rumors about that. Have they given up on the 4-player? I hope not. There's still a lot of fun 4-player games out there. I mean, we've listed them a lot on this channel talking about, I keep saying Alien versus Predator, but there's a ton. You probably have several 3 or 4-player games in your mind that you want them to make. Why have they abandoned it? Why have they not? I don't know, but listen, I got to be honest with you. When you got X-Men out there for $750, who the hell's going to buy that? $750? That's insane. And the prices fluctuate and sales happen and all that. But why am I waiting for it to come down to $500? It should already be down there. They've been out for quite a while now. There's no reason why those shouldn't be coming down. Maybe because they're not selling. Maybe it's because your cabinets are ugly. I mean, I really don't like their 4-player cabinets. It's a bad reminder of the legacies, the wings. I'm not digging it. I don't know. As far as the 3-player games, I don't understand that either, because you have less cost and you can charge the same amount of price. I mean, it's the same size, but you just have fewer controls. So you're saving some money and you charge the same price. You're going to make more money. So I don't know why they didn't just release like Knights of the Round that came out on Big Blue. Why didn't they just have some kind of a 3-player cab and put a bunch of 3-player games on that? I don't get it. I don't know. I wish they would come out with more. I really do. PS2 was the one I remember most fun. PS2 was so great. I think PS3 for me, why I stopped after that, for the most part, my love ended with that, is when you had those console generations back in the day, they were all tied to a big graphical leap. There was a big technical leap. PlayStation 1, for example, and whatever your console was. PlayStation 1, for example, CD-based. PlayStation 2, DVD-based. And back then, it was the cheapest DVD player you could buy. So it sold like crazy. And of course, with the PlayStation 3, you had Blu-ray. So there was big, in my mind, huge reasons to upgrade. Moving from 3 to 4, definitely some graphical enhancements for sure, but there wasn't that big format jump, really, that big leap, that huge reason why I have to have this. Same thing with the PS5. Incredible graphics, but other than game availability, why am I making the jump? Why am I taking the leap? What new thing is it doing for me? Is it taking advantage of the new format? I think with at least with the PS5, you can play 4K Blu-ray, but with PS4, you couldn't even do that. So the PS4 was just a souped up version of the PS3 with much better architecture that was easier to get to program games for. So, but yeah, PS2, come on, just phenomenal. Best-selling. I think it's still the best-selling console. I think, not sure. Not exactly sure. Let's scroll down and Jacob, what's going on, buddy? What's up, 19K? I'm going to make a GameCube Donkey Kong cat. Sweet. That's awesome. What are you going to use for a monitor? Let me know. What kind of size are you thinking? At 19K Fox from Pitbull. What's going on? Hashtag sucker buying 2 cabs. What is wrong with you? There's a lot of things wrong with me. I haven't quite narrowed it down. Therapy doesn't help. Only thing that seems to help is constant ridicule by those in my chat. I don't know. It's a valid question. What's wrong with you, Fox? What are you doing? Buying 2 of these cabs. And it's a game you're not really jazzed about. I like racing and shooting games for sure. I like those cabinets. It's a different way. It's a different interaction than just a joystick and buttons. I don't know what this motion was, but that's fine. So there's that. I'm interested in the linkability. How's that going to work? It's something I've always thought about, linking cabs together physically. Kind of goes like, back in the day, instead of using Wi-Fi, which I know you can use Wi-Fi, but they claim there's also a cable. I don't know if it's just going to be Ethernet or what. Back in the day, it was all nuts and bolts. It was all hardware. If you wanted to do something, you had to go to Sony or Nintendo and get that cable, get that adapter, get the adapter kit to make something work and plug in with each other. There was some kind of peripheral. Hold on, I say it wrong all the time. I got to bring up this old crap again. Some kind of peripheral. Peripheral. I can't say that damn word. To make it happen. There was always some kind of thing you had to get to make it happen. And I don't know, something about that. Okay, something about that is appealing to me in some way. So, and like I said, you buy 2 cabinets. If you're not jazzed about it, then maybe you sell the second one at a discount to somebody local, and they get a deal, and you get to offload the cabinet, and it's not a total loss. But I'm just interested in that. I'm interested in new things, different functionality with these cabinets. And this is the first one like this. It's going to be my first, deluxe. Once again, I'm doing motions, and I don't know what. I don't know. That's the Macarena. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm interested in that. We'll see. We'll see if it's worth it. We'll see if it's fun. I think it could be a cool way to kind of interact with people. Get my son in the video. That'll be fun, But am I a sucker? Maybe. Perhaps. Yeah. I wish I had some whiskey right now. I don't wish. That's weird. But it's a shame I don't have any bourbon. You have to buy a bottle, and I'm not going to sit and drink a bottle. I can't take it back with me. So I'm just going to do the responsible thing and not drink. It's weird. Just tune in next week. We're going to have I got some Basil Hayden calling my name, and we're going to kick. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to hang out with y'all like we should. When you're talking about these, I'm still who's big on this idea. I like it. I really like this idea. Blue, red, Time Crisis 2. This is what I'm digging. These are the kind of things I get pumped up about when I'm thinking about linked cabs. Man, this is what I want to recreate at home. To do this at home now, it's expensive and they're so damn big. To be able to recreate this would be awesome. One thing I'm kind of sad about, something we didn't. Okay, let me answer this question real quick. I'm going to use a plasma screen. I'm not ready for CRT arcade cab just yet. P.S. Keep up the great videos. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. There's a lot of LCD version options out there. I've been giving Unico a hard time because 3 weeks ago they said in 2 weeks we'll have new videos up about the 26-inch monitor they're coming out with. Haven't happened yet. I hope. Listen, I'm giving them a hard time. I hope it comes out though. I hope it comes out. I do, but I just don't see it yet. They offered 17 and 19-inch versions of those Phoenix monitors. I went to their website. The 17-inch isn't up anymore. Is that because they're getting ready for I don't have no idea. But 19-inch monitors are available from Unico, and they're less than $200. Maybe they're $199. Check those out. If you don't want to go CRT, but you want that correct format, go with one of those and see. Instead of having 16:9 with black bars, and you have to because a real problem I have with that is that it affects the build of your cabinet. If you go with a widescreen monitor, even if you do a bezel to make it look like it's a 4x3, it's going to affect the build width of your cabinet, and you can't really keep your proportions correct. Peripheral. Something. It's sad. It's really sad. Brooklyn Menace, what's going on, buddy? 19K Box needs to play Gran Turismo 7 in VR in his drive. Man, I would never leave the house. I want to check that out, though. One thing I'm sad about RK1-Up didn't bring, and I know maybe not everybody is jazzed about this or pumped about this, or they think the countercades are stupid, and I get that. We never got to see this. They came out with the 2 players, and I was kind of pumped about this. This little 2-player Street Fighter, countercade. Well, actually nobody did. I'm going to bring up the Steve Aoki the Street Fighter, the first 2-player countercade before the other ones came out. They made 30 of them. I would have absolutely bought that. I would have absolutely paid $200 for that, maybe even 300, but it wasn't available. So I don't know if we're going to see this. What we did see is the one across the pond, that Street Fighter single player that came out this year. It's available over there. Liberty Games. You can go online and you can look at it. You can buy it, but you can't get it shipped to the US. Let me take that back. You can. How much? I'm going to tell you exactly what my quote is when they get back to me. I am trying to get my hands on one of those to review for the channel, the channel, but also for my own personal, desire to have one. So, I like these. Curious about it. I like the art style. I know what the games are, but I don't know. I just like those little. I like that form factor. I think it's really cool. I think it's neat. It's a neat little thing. It's more interactive than the New Wave toys. New Wave toys are beautiful. They're gorgeous little recreations of the actual cabinets. But if you want something you can actually play, this is something you can actually play. And a couple $100, you can have one of these, and it's fun for what it is. It's obviously not trying to be a full-size arcade. There's no way. But for some reason, I just really dig this. And I'm sad that we didn't get that. And I don't know that we're getting any more countercades here. I mean, they're not even on their website. The only ones I can find are the single-player Ninja Turtles and Mortal Kombat on Amazon. And God, they were supposed to be $199, and then they've been like $230, $250. They're all over the place. It's crazy. Too crazy. Just absolutely nuts. Hey, no problem, man. I know Wi-Fi can be an issue. Glad you're back. Fox, I have the 2-player Street Fighter countercade pre-production. What? Fox, I have the 2-player Street Fighter countercade pre-production. Email me at 19kfox1@gmail.com. Let's see if we can't work something out. Email me, send me some pictures, if you're willing to let that thing go. I'll be looking for your email, Scott. A Trap Fanatic, what's going on? Hey, Fox and everybody. Hey, we are doing a kind of an early stream, just kicking it, hanging out. How's the situation with the car? How's your job going? Let me know, man. Let me know. So this is where we're at with the chaos, the 15 form factors. They need to whittle that down. They need to give me some more of these countercades in that new style. I really dig the new one with the shape, but they got to step it up. They got to step it up with the games list, the games variety. And on one hand, I'm very happy with what it came from a storage locker from an Arcade 1-Up employee. Really? Are you not allowed? Are you afraid to post pics and all that? Because I'm not. So if you're cool with me doing it, why don't you send them my way? Let's take a look at it. And if you want to sell it, let me know. Because I'm a fool, as Pitbull mentioned. I'm a sucker. That's right. I'm a sucker. But yeah, I mean, on one hand, I'm glad that they're not putting out that many products because I'm not tempted to buy any because they don't exist. And that's also a big reason why I was able to get 2 Fast and Furiouses, because I haven't bought a cab this year. These 2 will be the first ones that I've purchased this year. And I can't buy a ton of them a year, but Okay, Scott says, no, I talked to John D about it long ago. He was cool with it. All right, well, post it up, man. Post the pictures, or you can email them to me if you want, and I'll post them up. It doesn't matter. And I'll put them on the show next week. Was it from Miami or Cali? Asking about the cabin, I guess. Okay, guys, listen, we've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. Last call. Any questions you want to ask? Anything at all? Doesn't have to be just about arcades. It can be whatever you want. We're going to be wrapping this thing up in just a few minutes. Okay. Haven't touched the GTP lately. I've been working on getting my 82 Datsun. Oh, really? You got an 82 Datsun? Needs rear wheel bearings. Should get the parts tomorrow. Good. Well, hopefully you can get that wrapped up, done, and hopefully the job situation is also going well too. NES is nice 707. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. I don't know that I've ever seen you in the chat. Thank you so much for stopping by. I have a Marvel and Mortal Kombat 2 player countercade. I love the box art on both. We need Marvel versus Capcom countercade. Yes. I don't understand why. I mean, maybe they don't sell. I'm not privy to their numbers, so maybe they don't sell well. Maybe they're garbage. Maybe they are garbage. But I love them. I dig them. And I think that that's something that you could easily port them to, or not port them, just put them on. And it runs really well. The Marvel versus, well, there is a Marvel vs. Capcom countercade. The Marvel Super, I'm sorry, you're probably thinking Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I think that it's easy. It would be easy to put those on there. There is a Marvel vs. Capcom is on the Marvel Superheroes countercade for sure. And let me go ahead and just put this. Where is it? Here is. Oh, here it is. My email. There we go. Put that on the bottom. You can email me there. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram with those pictures. I'll gladly take a look at them and let me know. Give me some instructions, Scott. If you're okay with me, maybe sharing those. I'd like to share them and talk about them because I like talking about that stuff. It's cool. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 countercade. I mean, really, all these games. The two-player countercade, I think form factor works, and it would be a great way to capitalize and make a little bit more money on the IPs they already own. And you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi or nothing. I'd get rid of the USB port completely. You don't even need it. I don't know why they have it on there anyway. Just get rid of the USB port, two-player, keep the headphone jack. That's a good idea. But just, they got the little lip marquee. They're cool. They're really cool. And especially for people that don't have a ton of money and can't afford to have all these, big cabinets. So Kings of Cobra, what's going on? What's up, Fox? How you doing, brother? Absolutely great, man. Doing just a chilling chat, talking tonight, hanging out. My wife said that I'm never going to, I tell her sometimes I'm worried about not doing notes. I got to get all my slides, if I don't do that, what will I talk about? And she says, you're never one without words. You'll find something. She's like, I always have confidence. You'll find something to talk about. You like to talk. If it's something I like to talk about. Shannon says, Ed19K Fox, what do you think of the Pandora DX control decks? I got it confirmed that 2 can be linked to play or to create a 4-player deck for those 3 and 4-player games. I dig them. I mean, once again, you have caveats. Once again, you have ROMs that aren't necessarily the best and don't play super well. When you get up to some of the PS2 games, Dreamcast, that kind of stuff. But as far as what they've done, I mean, listen, I have in my original Street Fighter cab, I kept the board, but there was a time where I swapped that out and just put a Pandora's box in there and had access to all those games. And it was incredibly fun. And the ability to link them together, I didn't actually know that. But if you link them together and you can play 3 and 4-player games, that's even better. And if you're talking about limited space, you can take this control deck, load it up with 800 games, and just put it on a shelf. And then when it's time to play, take it out, plug it in, and go. Or build your own cabinet based on that. There is a problem with having too many games, though, believe it or not. Having a giant games list can kind of be overwhelming sometimes, and sometimes I would lose interest, and yeah, I do. What hold on, is the old? I got it. I don't Biggie I don't play it that much, so I got to look it up again to make sure I'm using the correct terminology. What is it that I have? I have scroll down. It's the Mini, the Gamer Mini, not the Gamer Pro, the Gamer Mini. I have that, and it's cool. It's cool, but I think that I think I want to go Ultimate. I know I'm getting the 4K pinball table for sure. That's going to be great. That's going to be a great thing. I can't wait to check that out. But that's it. That's all I have for right now. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, here we go. Do you think we will see new party cades? Well, I think so. That was one of the options they floated out there to retailers for this casino cade deal, was a ton of party cades. In fact, I have more hope for the party cade form factor than I do the counter cade. Probably that 17-inch monitor makes a big difference. Hanging it on the wall for some reason, I think it's fun. People dig that. Maybe that makes more sense. QVC seems to eat these things up. I guess the problem with the countercade is it takes up too much room on a desk or something. Maybe it's a little too big. You can't just have it sitting there on your desk. It takes up a lot of space. Finding a place for it, while it's not as big as a 3/4 scale, it kind of needs to have a shelf somewhere. So maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe that's part of the problem. Yeah, 2-player Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Party K with Wi-Fi would be incredible. That'd be awesome. Get rid of the Wi-Fi. If you want to scale it down and Wi-Fi is an issue, just get rid of it and just make it local only. I think with all the money they spent developing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, getting it ready for prime time, getting it ready for their platform, why is it not on other form factors? I have no idea. Which really begins to call into question the validity of all this. Like, you have all this stuff. Well, why aren't you putting all your games on all of them to drive the sales of them? I don't know. It could be back to licensing. Could be back to licensing for sure. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much. Is that Messiah? 1S Gaming? Happy Sunday indeed. I challenge you to a race. I can't. We can't do it because we can't play online. It's very sad. Very sad. Very sad indeed. Lisa says, I really like my Super Pac-Man Partycade. I definitely get more, and I'm looking for the Galaga one. Yes, I think it's weird how they've kind of given up on some of these form factors. They've given up on some of these form factors, and it's kind of odd because they threw so many out there. I keep going back to the slide, but you think about it. I mean, 15 different form factors. I don't know. The giant joystick's probably dead. I've not seen anything beyond those first two, so that's probably dead. Their little HD TV boxes, those are probably still out there. Like I said before, P-Dubs pretty much single-handedly killed the Couchcade, but they're still out there. I've seen some of those. Projectorcade, it's got to be gone. It's got to be gone. So let's say you take off the giant joystick and say you take off the Projectorcade. You've still got, 13 form factors out there actively still? And the ones that make the most sense to me are going to be your Partycades and your Countercades beyond, the uprights. And they're just not getting any love. And I don't understand why. I mean, come on. You've got all these different games. I mean, it's why aren't these other games making it to these other form factors? I have no idea. Some have seen 2 and 3 iterations, while some haven't. We haven't seen a Mortal Kombat Partycade. I don't think we have. We saw Street Fighter, but no Mortal Kombat. Well, why is that? What's the limitation there? I don't know. Is Mortal Kombat not as big of a seller as Street Fighter and Pac-Man? Probably not. And maybe that's why it ranks to where it does. But who knows? It's a mystery. It's a conundrum. Who knows? Who absolutely knows? But you know what I know? That I'm grateful for a $1 super sticker from John Phillips. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? And it is a balloon sticker. And I'm digging it. Thank you so much for the contribution to this little channel. It does really mean a lot. It goes a long way. Say how to work it real quick. Finish. Whew. Getting a beating never felt so good, huh? This is a good point. I don't know that I thought the baby cades were genius, but I thought it made a lot of sense. Something for kids, interactive, smash and bomb. I mean, I have, some young kids come over to the arcade from time to time. Young kids. First thing they do is grab that joystick and smash the buttons, and they get some kind of feedback from that. I guess Pac-Man obviously is going to be there, but what else could they have done? Well, we had Paw Patrol, which was, super catering to that age group for sure. But what else could they have done? I don't know. I liked the idea of the plastic because it kind of opened up their options for cab styles and cab designs. If they would take that full scale, we talked about candy cabs could be a stretch, but similar to that to get those shapes, you're not going to get that out of wood. My Die Hard cabinet is plastic, and that's rounded molded shapes and all that. You can only do that with plastic and injection molding and all that. I would have liked to see them follow that a little bit. That would have been fun. Been really fun. Hey, Becky, good to see you, girl. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by the chat with a heart and a fox face and a drink. No bourbon tonight, just 0-calorie Coke. Because I'm an animal, because I like to party. I absolutely like to party. Mortal Kombat babycade, missed opportunity. Exactly. Why not have your infants ripping the spines out of other players? I mean, come on, it's the right thing to do. Okay, maybe not Mortal Kombat. Maybe not, but still, I mean, it could have worked out. Could have been the right way to go. I don't know what the right way to go is, but I just know that, sometimes less is more, but sometimes more is more. And maybe while we're talking about some of the things that didn't work and the things they shouldn't do, we're also talking about some of the stuff that they should do. And I think that there are some missed opportunities with some of these other form factors. I would think it would be a lower cost option. It would be less of a gamble to do a weird game on a countercade than it would be on a full size, or not a full size, but one of their uprights. There's a lot of costs there. There's a lot of floor space from retailers, and you're asking a lot. And to take a chance in that form factor does seem like that's a stretch. But when you're talking about a form factor like some of this other stuff, partycades and countercades, I think is where they should take their chances with weird titles and see if they sell. I mean, it's the investment has to be, it's much more minimal, you would think. But then again, I didn't go to college for game company running. Steve, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. That's kind of my 2 cents. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. I am only a fan, and I enjoy talking about this stuff. It's fun. I enjoy talking with you. This has been a fun hangout for sure. Street Fighter Alpha Trilogy. Where is it? It has to happen, Grouchy. It has to happen. If you've got that Capcom connection, where do you go from there? You've already you've done Marvel versus Capcom 1 and that crossover and that art style and those cabinets and those games within that franchise. And I'm forever grateful for that, because I love that. Absolutely love those games. Street Fighter 2 has been done to death. You haven't touched Street Fighter 3 yet. Okay. But what about Street Fighter Alpha? It's all the same CPS 2 hardware. It's all the same stuff. It's the same art style. You can run those sprites in a versus game. I guarantee you can run it in an alpha cabinet. But hey, that's just my 2 cents.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out and checking out the Chill and Chat, the name that I appropriated from Michael B., the Game Genie. I'm starting to think that that's not even his really last name. I mean, who? That's a hell of a long last name. Michael B., B being his middle initial, the Game Genie? Is that I'm going to need to see some kind of proof. Next time I see him, and if you see him in Cleveland, demand to see his driver's license. I want to see if the Game Genie really is his last name. I don't think it is. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel and hanging out with me. Next week, next Sunday, will be the true 100th episode of this week. I got a lot of stuff planned. It's going to be fun. And just a side note for everybody in the chat hanging out with me right now, thank you so much for hanging out with me for 2 hours. We are 60 subs away from 7K. And if we hit 7K, I'm going to do another live stream where we're going to give some stuff away, because that's a big milestone. And I think I neglected doing something on the 6K milestone. So I want to do something for the 7K milestone. So smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. I do appreciate it. It definitely helps out the channel a ton. Stay tuned right here. Next week, we're talking about that. Hopefully, I should also get some time at home so we can make some more videos discussing other things and maybe giving you a sneak peek in some of my new projects. Anyway, everybody, don't work too hard this week, and I'll see all of you next time.